Bitches in my life keep dying, so I'm tired of the doom and the gloom and all the death that surrounds me, and I just need a little happiness. So I'm making myself a grief garden on my balcony where I can just come and have a tea and sit outside and journal and be in my feelings. And you're probably like, Kenya, why grief garden? Why can't it just be a garden? Baby, because my life is full of grief. Grief is my things, what I do. And the name was cute. Like, oh, come have tea with me in my grief garden. Like that eats down instead of like just my balcony garden. No, it's my grief garden. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why I'm arguing with you. I already decided that's what I'm going to do. I need to have more social interaction outside of the internet. And that's for another time. Anyway, guys, hi. Welcome to my grief garden. This is my grief garden. We're playing stuff. Yeah. So you might think it's a little bit late in the year for a garden, and that totally depends on where you live. I live in San Diego, and right now, June is the time I can still get away with planting things on my balcony. So we got a flower just because I wanted one. Some mint that's going to go in my little pot that I painted. The video is on my page. Then we have some chives, which I got. I don't really be eating chives, but I got them to go in the same thing as my strawberries because the internet told me if you plant like a onion, a garlic, or something with the strawberries. It helps mask the scent, so you have less chance of the bugs eating it. So chives. I got the zucchini because I need to eat more vegetables. Um, I got two pepper plants. Damn, I just watered you yesterday, 2 days ago. Oh baby, they be drinking watermelon. Um, and then I got a lavender because I got a lot of stress going on in my life. You need some lavender? Here, smell. That smell good? Yeah, take a sniff. Just yeah, just fuck it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, lavender. And so those are our plants. That's what we're planting. Oh, did I tell y'all about the mint? The mint is to go in my tea and my lemonades. If I said that already, I'll edit this out. And if I didn't, I'll leave it in. Movie magic. Obviously, since this is going to be on my balcony, I'm doing a container garden. And I already had all of these things because I did a container garden the first year we moved here. And then the next year I was, sick, down with the sickness. And so this is year 3 of being in San Diego. So this is me, re-breaking all this stuff out. I got these pots from Lowe's when I first did my balcony garden, and we got holes drilled in the bottom of them by my neighbor so that they could drain, which is what you're seeing, the little holes now. So you're about to see the first of many spider webs that live on my balcony. But my real question for you is, so I got this shelf 3 years ago and it's just been outside. Y'all think I can save it or should I just toss it? Let me know below. Y'all see what I'm saying about the spider webs? I mean, I'm trying not to kill bugs, be one with nature, but it's like, why you gotta live on my balcony? Why you gotta be here? And I realized after the fact that sweeping all of this to get it dirty to sweep it again wasn't my smartest, brightest move, but I did it and I can't undo it. So yeah. You checking my work? You saying hi to the people? Oh wait, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Hi, take it. Say hi. Say hi, YouTube. Say hi, YouTube. My name is Coda. Hi, YouTube. Maybe I put you on Instagram. Oh yeah, look at him. He said I'm a celebrity. I'm an internet famous. You want to be internet famous? Oh man, you don't like to work though. Okay, I'll stop. Yes, Emma's so handsome. Say cheese. Okay. You could have just hopped over it, Coda. You didn't have to be so damn dramatic. That's not how internet famous dogs behave. Are you going in or are you staying out? Mommy's got to shut the door. Are you going in or are you staying out? I'm putting this on the YouTube. These people gonna see. They gonna see how you act running in and out my house. You got money for this electricity bill? You want to be inside? You want to be outside? All right, we're gonna be outside. I'm gonna shut the door now. I'm gonna shut the door. Now you got to be outside, dog. All right, go ahead and lay it down. Don't be in my way now. Doing too much. So let's chat about the grief part of the grief garden. If you know me, then you know that I am a grief creator, but I'm not just like a poems and quotes and everything's going to be okay, you'll get through it creator. I actually think that that can be kind of harmful to people. But I kind of stumbled into this grief creator thing. I was really just sharing what was going on in my real life online, trying to make connections, and then somehow I stumbled into a community of almost 100,000 people across platforms. And the way that I handle grief is I use creativity, crafts, sewing, gardening, cooking, tea. I use things that are a physical outlet for my emotions emotions to navigate my feelings. And then I share the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I realized over the last 7 months, specifically since losing my mom, that there aren't a lot of practical grief resources. Like, you feel a big feeling and let's put it into paper, let's put it into the dirt, let's do something with those feelings that you're going to have to live with forever. And after getting really angry and really frustrated by the lack of resources available, I decided, well, if you can't find it, then you just have to make it yourself. Because the thing about grief is once it enters your life, it's not going anywhere. It's always going to live in your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, and you just have to learn how to coexist with it. And some days grief is in charge, and some days you're in charge, and you have to find the balance. Especially when you're experiencing compound grief, which is when you experience multiple grief-heavy events, trauma, circumstances, and they start to affect you individually, but also compound together. And it becomes a whirlwind of grief and trying to navigate individual experiences and how they impact each other. Comment below if you'd like me to make more content going over compound grief and how it affects you, because I am experiencing lots of compound grief. I have been grieving essentially since I was 8 years old, and my stepdad, my granddad, and my uncle died, and then life has just kept going and going and going and going and going. Especially in the current season of my life, if you know my story, then you know December 2024, I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, but in April of 2025, I became disabled by multiple sclerosis. And you might be watching me garden and think, this girl is not disabled, but there is such thing as dynamic disability. And what I will tell you is that the day after this gardening video, I was so sick and bedbound because I used all of my freaking energy to do this. And dynamic disability is also a topic that is not nearly discussed enough to able-bodied people, and they just think that disabled people are faking it when they have good days. But really, most people, like even wheelchair users, are not full-time wheelchair users. There are days where I have to crawl to the bathroom because I cannot walk, and there are days that I'm able to garden on my balcony. And the important thing to remember about those good days when you see people gardening and dancing and traveling is that their body is going to make them pay for the use of that energy. Like I said, the day after this video, I was stuck in bed, my legs were not working, and I was hurting. But for me, it was worth it. Building a balcony garden in the city is so interesting because while I'm out here like digging my hands in like fertilizer and pot soil, I can still hear like all of the cars and all the people and all the noise, and it's so different from how I grew up. I'm from like a really small town in Virginia, and I was lucky enough that I had my mom, my grandma, and my great grandma. And so we called my great grandma my grandma, and we called my regular grandma my nanny. And my great grandma, when I was younger, she wasn't that old, and so she had this massive garden behind her house that you had to drive down. Like, she wasn't walking to it anymore, so she would drive from her house to her garden, and she would just be in her garden in her skirts, and we all worked it. It was like a rite of passage where we would be like pulling weeds or whatever. I have some really funny memories pulling weeds. If you want to hear any of them, comment below. But I have some like funny memories pulling weeds, and this is just so different than like being out there with her. And it was so funny because like she died in 2017. Yes, in 2017 on June 28th. And it's so crazy thinking about like all that's changed in my life since then. But like anytime I put my hand in a garden or in the dirt, I just think of her. And when I go home, I always drive down to her garden and just sit in it to like be around her and her presence. But quite a it was crazy because back then it was like a time of the house phone. She didn't have a cell phone, and so we would call her house phone, and if she didn't answer, you just knew she was in the garden. And we all lived so close together that we would just hop in the car and like drive over, and she would be in the garden. So a lot's changed since those simple times in my life. But I think that's one of the reasons I like love gardening and like nature, is it just reminds me of like my childhood. I didn't grow up in the city, I grew up outside. um I don't know. Nature, plants, they're simple, complicated, temperamental, require specific environments and things, but they don't have you don't have to worry about them the way that you have to worry about people. I don't know. Sorry, this got a little deep, but I'm just taking a break because this fertilizer is heavy. All right, let me plant these dang strawberries and get to it. So yeah, I got a little bit sidetracked there. I was just talking to you about why I was doing a balcony grief garden, and the story is kind of what I just told you about my grandma. Nature brings me peace. It makes me happy. And as someone who is home 24/7, being on my phone 24/7, it can get depressing. So I wanted to bring some life into my house, and we all know that plants do that. And so I was like, I have this balcony, I have all these planters, I might as well use them, you know? And I figured it would be a great place where I could just come out and journal, have a cup of tea, talk to my mom, talk to my grandma, you know, talk to my stepdad, just be one with my grief, be one with nature. And then, of course, I love to cook. My mom cooked all the time. And so growing my own produce connects me to my mom and my grandma. Also, with having multiple sclerosis and a dynamic disability, I can get really like existential and depressed about what my body used to be able to do. It used to hike, it used to run, it used to do all these things. And so finding things that my body can still do that bring me joy is really important to me, because I have to like actively seek them out and remind myself my body is still able to do, even if that doing looks much different. I painted this in one of my crafty grieving videos, which I'm hoping to continue, but maybe slightly differently. I was doing like crafts to help you with your grieving, but like I'm still grieving. So I think I'm going to change the premises to like trying crafts while grieving and seeing how they make me feel. I don't know. I'll get back to you. But I painted this, and in my mind a little like fairy lives in it. I knew I was going to put mint in it when I painted it. So it's like a cute little fairy who likes tea and lemonade and all that jazz. But let's put my mint in it, I guess. Right in the boobies. You know what I'm saying. You know how I feel. What is something that you think would help you with your grief in your life? My thoughts in the matter and all of this is like grief resources on the internet right now are there's not a lot of them, and most of them are quotes or poems or religious imagery, and there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff, but I feel like there's not a lot of practical, like this is y'all, I did too much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I got that. Okay. All right, we need to dig down a little bit. We need to dig deep. We done fucked up. Okay, we done fucked up. Oh man, I'm trying to have a real conversation with y'all, but I fucked up my mint plan. Okay, can you say the F word on YouTube? Oh, I hope I don't have to bleep all of that. I probably should though. Anyway, like I was trying to say, I feel like there's not a lot of hands-on like resources for grief, specifically for people like with chronic illness or in minority spaces. Like I can't. And so that's who I'm trying to be, because that's who I am. That's what I need. So I'm gonna take the nicest, coziest shower after this, because I am dirty. This is our last one, guys. Thank you for your help. I really like mushrooms. If you can tell by some of the imagery on my website, I'm working on the branding thing. My website, she's so cute, but like the other socials, I'm working. I'm working on it. I thought it was one thing, there's another, and then it's like, who are you? Like I'm so jealous of the people who can be like, I'm a Y2K girly, I'm a tennis girly. I'm just like, I'm trying to survive, girly. I'm trying not to myself. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to get through this trauma. So I feel like, what's my style? What's my person? My personality is funny, bad bitch, all those things. But it's like, I don't have a particular, like, this is my aesthetic. So I'm trying to like brand myself in my socials. It's not the easiest thing, but my website, if you go to it, www.chronicallykenya.com, you can get yourself a Grief Isn't a Bad Word t-shirt. While you're there, it's like the closest to feeling like me I have found in like an aesthetic and like a space. It's burgundy, or like, yeah, burgundy, maroon, baby blue, some pink, stamps. I love stamps, like scrapbooking stuff, like mushrooms, like flowers. What is that? Is it cottagecore, but like not pink? I don't know. Oh my god. I got this lavender plant, like I said in the beginning of this video, because your girl be stressed. I be stressed out. I be going through. Oh my god. It's like we didn't learn anything from the mint. It's like we didn't learn anything from the mint. It's like we didn't learn anything from them. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like we didn't learn anything from the mint. There we go. There we go, babe. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Let's just, yeah. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Yes. Sexy. This is really who I am, y'all. Like, this is the exact commentary that would be coming out of my mouth if I didn't have this mic on. Like, I just hope you know that I am a chaos goblin. I've been this way my whole life. My dog is crying, and he's probably crying because he's getting freaking God. You know, all I keep thinking is I'm like a diehard Dan and Phil fan, and crossover one day maybe dreams. I just keep thinking about like how Phil doesn't cut. He didn't cuss for like 20 years on his YouTube channel. Like, that's big daddy energy right there. I mean, Dan, sorry, I didn't mean to call you a man big daddy like that. But, you know, I was about to say something really inappropriate, and I'm glad I didn't. Because some things you just don't have to say on the internet about your lifelong YouTube subscription. One thing I will say for the crossover audience, if anybody even watches this video or gets that far, or any of my fans are Dan and Phil fans, I've never read Dan and Phil fan fiction. I do read fan fiction because obviously, look at my flower pot. Like, this looks like the flower pot of a girl who reads fan fiction and disassociates from her life traumas. Anyway, this was our last one. So now it's time for a clean up, and then I'm going to take a super fun shower. I don't know why I said fun. Anyway, I'm tired. I truly feel called to make content about grief and navigate my life loudly and hopefully help other people on the same journey. When you're a crafter, it kind of helps like a low-key support hoarding, because I'm like, what can I do with these one day? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if my whole body is in the camera. I didn't even look. So I do compost in this. I need to fill that up, actually. I've got some stuff in my kitchen right now. Because I made chicken noodle soup, the soda on the side. Chicken noodle soup, chicken noodle soup, chicken noodle soup, the soda on the side. Let it rain. I clear it up. I let it rain. All right, can you? Enough. Chicken noodle soup with soda on the side. Chicken noodle soup, soda on the side. I just want to thank you so much for joining me on building my grief garden. This was so fun to make, and I hope that you liked what I was talking about and you joined me on my grief journey, and maybe I can help you too. I hope that you like and subscribe to this channel and you grow with me while I make crafts and create and heal and grieve and just be the chaos goblin that I am. It can be so hard to find joy and happiness when your life is drowning in grief, and so I hope that this video could be that for you, and that my corner of the internet can be a little place where you can feel safe and comfy.